I'm off to the city. Welcome to the new subscriber. Just going to grab the mail on the way by, so it'll beep. The steering wheel will beep. And let's see if we can get rid of some of this bug juice on the window. So first off, I'm not sure how this is going to work, and I hope that all my videos are not going to get all jumbled up. I got, see if I can wake that bug juice off there. A little better than that. And I've got to go get a... Oh. Oh well. Junk mail. Okay. Are you ready? Okay, first place we're going is my mother-in-law's to drop off some vegetables from the garden. And I'm not sure, I put this camera on driving mode to see how that works, and we'll take her from there. Now today's the 28th of August, and the weather this last week has changed, so my wife gets to call it, she calls it pre-fall, or pre-fallish. And I don't really like that term, but she's right. It won't be long, and we'll be getting a lot colder. Now, the coldest it's been so far this week, I think it was down to about 7 degrees, which is pretty cool. Yesterday, what a day that was. I'm wearing that waffle shirt that I wore yesterday, but I don't have the hoodie on either. It was pretty warm walking out of the woods and up that hill. And the bush road looks really good for what I did get done before the mower died on me. I don't know what the deal is on that. My neighbor here, at this place here, he came down to check it out for me yesterday. So hopefully it's a small fix. I was looking at a bunch of different videos, and it doesn't look like it's within my skill set, we'll say. So that means I'm going to have to maybe get this mechanic's son to take a quick look at it. And after that, I'm not sure what to do, but I gotta have that mower running. That mower is one of the key pieces of equipment that I need to be able to get works and all that kind of stuff done around the house. So, winter's coming. Well, this is a pretty little setting here. You'll notice that a lot of houses are close to the road. And this is usually because a long time ago, the was a manual effort. Not a lot of people had tractors. They had more like horses and stuff like that. So if they were to get out to the road, they didn't want to do a lot of shoveling. To shovel from my house to the road, not happening. By the time you got it shoveled out, next thing you know is that it's snowing again. Not only that, you'd have to have a family of a dozen kids and have enough shovels to go around so that they could get it off the driveway. But you can see here, slowly but surely, these leaves are going to be changing. And I'll make sure that I'll give you guys a nice tour of somewhere where you can see the color. Now everything's green. There's one little boy waiting for his daddy to come home. This guy is not around. And we got to get the rest of this road done here. We need some ditching going on down here. Up here there's going to be a good bump just coming up in a couple of 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. It's not bad, but this little chunk of road here to the end of the chip seal is bad. I had the grader down here once or twice, and it kind of smooths it out a bit. More construction. Apparently they're starting to pave up here again. Where I'll put some chip seal over the places where they dug up, put the culverts in. My wife gets on their case every couple of months to try and get this place cleaned up. Because we want to be able to oh, that's something I just thought of. This camera mode might not work on the camera that I'm using for all my videos on the USB connection, because I think it has to be plugged into the cigarette lighter, which means I'm going to have to get myself a cigarette lighter thing to plug in the USB to it. Let's see what are these guys doing. Oh, another culvert. Come on, let's go, boys. There was a series of 3 whoop-de-doos along here. And I see they got a piece of culvert laying there. I could use that on my road actually, but come on, let's go. Get out of the way, boy. Nice to see you working. And there we go. Funny little feller. Here's another one. Oh, and they fixed this one good. I see it's got a new piece of culvert in there too. Boy, we'll be able to go 100 miles an hour down here before long. Nice to see this all cleaned up. Here's an example why a house farmer's close to the road. You'll see that everywhere here. Now, I'm going to go a slightly different way to my mother-in-law's today. This is the way we normally go to the city, but I'm going to, long before I get to the city, I got to turn to the right and head up to what's called the Macnaquack Dam. Oh, we got some more digging down here. You see the gravel on the side of the road here? That was all washed out in the big rain we had here a couple years ago. Here's a little dolly there. Oh, a couple more here. Imagine that. Ooh, look at this. It's all prettied up down here. This was a rough chunk too. Nice to see them fixing a road up. Of course, we got an election coming here now. Imagine that. Calling an election in the middle of the pandemic. He could have waited a little while. He's been in power for 2 years. We have what's called a minority government, which is means that they all have to get along together in order to get things done, and it was working great. But now, somebody not too happy about the way things were, and has decided that they want to force an election. Oh, look at that. A bird of prey, I think. So, by forcing the election, we've got 4 main parties here. Maybe 5, let's see. We got the Liberals, we got the Conservatives, who are kind of in power. We've got the Liberals, they're kind of in power as too. We also have the Green Party. We have the People's Alliance of New Brunswick Party and the NDP. I don't think there's one NDP person in the government, and there's 3 of each of the People's Alliance and the Green Party. Only one party has come out and signed the Stop Spraying New Brunswick pledge to stop the spraying of crowned land and leave our forests alone. So, if the last election, I voted for the People's Alliance because I felt that they were one of these parties that were actually going to get something done, do something. But they kind of dropped the ball. Same with the Green Party, but the Green Party is the only one that's signed up for in mass for getting rid of the spraying in New Brunswick. Okay, now we're on this little slipstream of a road here. We're going to go down here. This is normally where we always go to towards the city. We could go straight, but it doesn't really. It's not any better. This way's better. Good. I got a bleeding nose. Okay. Now this little shortcut here comes down to a place we call Bird Store. They have a little gas station down here. And a little kind of a grocery store, and they also have a little restaurant in there. And they do make a pretty decent burger. The burger's like real meat, so it tastes pretty good. And that's the store on the left. Come up here, we're going to go left. The last time I took you on a road trip, I went right. See what I mean by all the houses close to the road? This used to be an important place for forestry. All these trees in the local area would get cut and taken down here to the right. This road, the Trip Settlement Road, just down here a little bit is the old railway station. Maybe I'll take you down there one day too. Now when I came on the last trip, I came in this way off that Trip Settlement Road, but this time we're going to go down a different way so you get to see something different. Not the greatest road because of the heavy trucks on it. There's a free barbecue. Must be garbage day here Friday. We'll probably see a garbage truck up here. Oh, better go the speed limit here. It's only 50 here and I'm going 70. But right up around the corner here, you can go 80. And most people here speed along here. Okay, oh, look at that. Oh, some people got a lot of garbage. Which, does it mean that they forgot to take it out? Last week, they only come once a week to come and get it. Slow down a little bit. 85 is fast enough. Now I get wood delivered from my house to my house from up here, and I won't swing it around so you can see where it's coming, but I do have a picture up somewhere where the wood comes from. Now this fella here, Chris, he's got 200 acres up in the back hill on the left here. This is where I go get the wood here and all the sawdust. He told me that after all these years, these trees are running out of wood up there. They're getting too small to cut. And he also gets people to deliver loads of trees to his wood processor, he calls it. And his wood processor will take a tree and automatically move it up every 16 inches, cuts it and splits it, and then dumps it into his trailer. And when the trailer's full, he brings it to the house. So it's quite a labor-intensive thing that he's got going there, because he has to get up with his skidder. I think he cuts the trees in February before spring. So he's got a lot of work to get those trees split in the trailer and then dump it on my driveway. And then I know how much work that I got to do. I can't imagine how much work he has. But anyway, that's what he does for his hobby. He's retired. And if you look on the left and the right, you'll see corn, and this corn is cattle corn. Pretty sure it is. They use that just to feed some cattle up around this area here. My corn's not very big. Wasn't last year either. And we have to keep the... I'd have to do something to see... Apparently, my wife said a raccoon's been in there eating it. And of course, if I catch one, he's as good as gone. But they're not easy to catch, and they're roughly the size of the beaver. The beaver is hard enough to catch in itself. Oh, and these barns that you're seeing on as we're going by here, those are chicken barns. They raise chickens for just the eggs, and when the chickens get to a certain age, they kill them, and then they send them off someplace to process them into dog food. So all that people that buy the chicken-based dog food, that's where those things come from, chicken. I'm not sure what they do with some of the other animals. You don't see a lot of beef, I don't think, in dog food anymore. Oh, and in the springtime, this area that we're driving on is flooded. A lot of the times there's so much snow melting, and it gets to the river too quick, and it starts to back up, and all these people here, the road, sometimes it's over the top of the road, but usually it's pretty high. These people around here probably all have rubber boots at the door so they can get out. And this is kind of a Bible-Belt area. Burt's Corner's got about 4 or 5 churches, I think. There's several here. There's a big farm down here, big cattle farm. A big field there. It's always lots of deer here in the wintertime. This is one of the areas. That village that we went through back there is called Burt's Corner. And this one here, we call it just the landing. I'm not sure what this area is called. Maybe it'll say here. Oh, Keswick. Keswick is a big area. So here this is where we're going to turn to the right. And we're going to go over the dam. But first I got to go to my mother-in-law's place, and we'll see what's going on there. Okay. Yeah, this landing's kind of neat. They got a RCMP outpost. They had a bar. There's a doctor's office. My mechanic lives there, or works there, and there's a big pharmacy in there, and they sell other things too. There we go. This area floods for sure. Now I have another piece of property off to the right here, but it rarely floods. But we didn't do anything with it this year, last year. We were going to put the house, or build a house on there, like a log home. But we seen the other place, so we didn't bother chasing that dream. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that piece of property. Maybe sell it someday, we'll see. Not sure. It's 15 acres. If I was going to sell it, I'd like to buy the piece of property next to me. I'm sure glad they fixed this road up. This was full of holes and bend your rim holes. Oh, new building going up here. They had a fire here a little while ago. And this is where we get the lumber, building supplies. They deliver up to the house. But I think you're going to enjoy the trip over the dam and then up to my mother-in-law's place. And then after we get out of there, which won't be too long, then we'll head to the city and get all the jobs done. I've got an old watch that I want to put a new battery in, but it's been laying around for a couple of years, and I hope the battery didn't leak in there. And I've got to go and get some ice, or not ice, I got to get some salt for melting ice. Oh, just up here's another interesting place. It's called Skinny's. It's got a little petting zoo going on there, right here. Little petting zoo. They have a little not a restaurant, but like a drive-in, and you can get hamburgers, something they call poutine, fries, and they've got ice cream. Now, this is the edge, top edge of Keswick Ridge, and now we're going to start dropping down into the head pond. Now, we call it the head pond, which is a dammed up area. It's dammed up at the dam called Macnaquac, the Macnaquac Dam, that produces hydropower for the province. We also have a nuclear reactor down at Point Lepreau that's also producing power for the province. And we have some coal-fired ones too, but I think they're all closed down now. Now there's a neat thing that goes on in this dam. There's a little boat that floats around, picking up logs and trees that have fallen into the river. So they pick them up and then they drop them up in the field up here. What are these boys selling? They're usually selling corn. Oh, campfire wood. Guy can sell some of that too, but the end of that season's coming. So there's a bunch of geese out there on the field. Look at the bunch of geese on the right. Wild Canadian geese. So here, this dam is closed down to one lane every summer. And the problem with the dam is the concrete that they used keeps expanding. So they come along here and they drill holes into the dam in order to relieve the pressure so the dam don't break. Now they don't know. They're thinking about building a new dam to replace this one, because this one was built in the 60s. Oh, my mother-in-law lives way up the river to the right. And we'll go up there right now. Just waiting for the light to change, and there it is. It changed. It's kind of like a big lake up here. Come on, boy, let's go. In the springtime, they have to open up the gates, and that's pretty impressive to watch. There's a parking lot over at the other side that you can look down here, and the water comes shooting down through it. They've got to get rid of the water so it doesn't go over the top, of course. Okay. That's done. Now, this is, we're going to be coming up to the old Trans-Canada Highway. I have to turn to the right to get up to my mother-in-law's place. And the old Trans-Canada Highway is, actually it used to be down here before they built the dam, and then they moved it in the 60s, and now they've built another one that's quite a ways away from here. So we're going to be turning to the right, and on the left hand side is the Kings Clear Indian Reservation. And we'll come back through there in a bit. This is a pretty drive. This is called the Scenic River Drive. And we have a lot of wildlife crossing the roads here. Everybody, or a lot of people end up hitting deer in their lifetimes. Knock on wood, I've only come close a couple of times. Almost hit a moose, and I've almost hit a few deer. A bear. Now, if you have a little bit of money, you could have a boat and live on the side of the river here, but these people pay a lot more in taxes, and these properties are quite expensive. So this was the main highway to get up to Quebec, or driving through New Brunswick at one point. Everybody had to, if you come from Halifax, you went through Moncton. You had a real crappy road to get over towards Fredericton, which is all brand new now. And you end up over on this road, and this goes up as part of the Trans-Canada, or was, river system. Some nice houses off on the right there. But if you have a boat in this water, you got a dam above you and a dam below you, so you know where you're going to be able to go. And I would like to see the end of the dam and get the river restored to its former glory so that the salmon can come up and down here. That road there, we almost bought some property down there at one point, and we could have had a house on the river, but the house was like 150 years old. This guy here with the fancy gates, he owns a trailer manufacturing plant. This big giant place on the left, some guy, a quadriplegic, makes mobility devices to help you, people that are having problems with moving around. Now, my mother-in-law just lives up here just a little ways, and it's too bad that we didn't get this piece of property either. But even back 30 years ago, 20 years ago, when I bought the other piece of property, the property was pretty expensive. So here we go, down here. On the right is a cemetery, and it's got some pretty old headstones in there. And this here is my mother-in-law and father-in-law. It's like Fort Knox. She's opened up the gate so that I can get in. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Is the camera stopped or not? No. I'll let it run, and what I'll do is I'll cut all that part out later. Okay. And the beans, the cukes, some corn. What else is this? Beets. That's ice, okay. That's it. 1, 2, 3. Of course the corn's not. Oh, Jesus, pay attention. Okay, let's go. And it is 12:13. Good to go. Yeah, there's on the left here, for sale, for sale, for sale. All of these properties, my mother and father-in-law could have had that. Oh well, lost opportunity. And see that big white thing off on the right? That's where we were going to buy that house right there at one point, but they seemed to be too much. And this is Giselle's friends here on the right. They own quite a bit of property. Anyway, coulda, woulda, shoulda. So, the speed limit is 100 kilometers an hour, which is roughly 60 miles an hour. And the worst time to come through here is at sundown. A lot of deers moving between the water over at the river from their feeding grounds, which is up here. So they have to cross the highway here. Continually they're getting struck by cars, trucks, whatever. Crab Mountain, you can see that from our house off in the distance. From my mother-in-law's, my son used to have to drive his bicycle every day. And if I remember, it's up here, so you get an idea how far it is. And it was a long bike ride. He was in his best shape that he'll ever be in, doing that 5 times a week. Both directions, rain or shine. Kind of funny, isn't it? He wanted a bicycle, or he wanted wheels, so I bought him a bike. Now this is the intersection where we came up this way, which is if you peel off to the right here, it'll take you off to the left, over the dam, over the Keswick Ridge, and over to Dorn Ridge. And as we get closer to the city, the speed gets slower and slower and slower. But we'll see if we can do it about zipping in there. That's where marshmallows are made, right there. And they take those big round plastic things to the factory, and then they put it in an extruder, and they make little tiny marshmallows. You can get any size you want. Don't believe that. So just up here is the reserve, and we'll have to drop our speed down to 70 while we go through it. There was an accident. Somebody hit somebody in the middle of the night walking on the side of the road. Just up here. And you never know if there's going to be police around or not. They do have a station here, just off to the right here somewhere. They took over the old gas station when they put this new gas station up here. They call that down there French Village. And they went and built this big fancy gas station up here. And now we can't go 100, we can only go 90. It's pretty along here though. Just up here somebody's selling 800 acres. I don't know what kind of money they'd want for that kind of property. Pretty expensive, I would think. But in eastern Canada, and I would say mostly Quebec and New Brunswick and probably Nova Scotia, they're down east we call it. I'm not sure about Ontario. All the property was given away like in the 16th, 17th, and 18th century. And a large block of property, everybody had to have access to the river. So when you died and your property get divided up between your sons, they would divide it lengthwise where each son still had a connection to get onto the river. So eventually the land got pretty skinny. So it'd be just like as if you could imagine laying a whole bunch of pencils out side by side, and then each pencil, half the pencils would go to one son, the other half of the pencils go to another son, and then it would get divided again and again and again. That's why my property is long and skinny. Same with my other piece of property. And they all connect to the river. Now, That's more rural, not so much like in the city. Everybody in the city's got what they call lots, just a little tiny piece of property. And I'm not sure. There's something like 6 lots to an acre. And I have 100 acres. That's lots. 600 or 6,000? 600, I think. 600 houses can go on that 100 acres. So 6 times 100, yep. 600 houses. Anyway, that's a little ancient history on that. Now where I'm going is to another family, the family that helped us with wood last weekend, and give them some more vegetables. And we need to get their kids out to help clean underneath the apple tree in the dog's yard, so that the dogs don't come back with burdocks. And then we'll be happy. We'll be all set up. Now apparently, Giselle's going to make, oh, we're down to 80. Giselle's going to make spaghetti for that. Now I'm not sure how to get to that my friend's place, if I stay on the main highway. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down through the bulk of downtown, off on the side there, because I know where to turn on the other side of the city. So we'll just go through it anyway. It's 12:22, and we're now in the city of Fredericton, on the very outskirts, and we're heading due east. So this will be the west end. The city is split in half with a river running in the middle of it. And they have 2 main traffic bridges over it. And to get on the other side of the river, you can either go over the dam. There's another one way farther down. Not a dam, but another bridge outside the city, so that you can get on either the north side or the south side. So we're on the south side. This is where we're going to be doing the bulk of whatever we do today. And I got a bunch of little stores to go to. And the speed should drop down to 70 here right away, if I didn't miss it. I see their garbage has already been picked up. On both sides. And we have to have pretty decent garbage cans here, because the freaking animals get into it. Skunks, raccoons, mostly. And if you put bags out, chances are the ravens and the crows will come and rip the bags open up on you. Oh, everybody's slowing down. Now, just up here, I can't remember the name of they call this, but there's a campground here on the left. People in the city will buy it, have a trailer, bring it out here, and they'll park their trailer there pretty well all the time. So it's kind of like a pretty good deal for these people that own this campground here. And you've seen that big gravel truck. There's a big gravel pit up on top of the hill here. And the big gravel, there's one on the other side of the river too. government truck. Kind of funny, isn't it? Government trucks and the biggest, richest person in the province, their trucks are yellow too. Okay, here we go. Down to 70. And we're going to turn off out here, and we're going to head on a road called Woodstock Road next. I'm so glad that I live where I live. I don't have any of this crap to put up with. I think they used to sell trailers in there. This is a dangerous intersection we're going to turn here. It's where I'm turning into, it's where you come out of that makes it really dangerous. Oh good, I get to follow these two freaking clowns again. It's just up here. Oh, I didn't see them before. Because you come out on an angle, yet it's hard to look up the hill. Yes, I see all kinds of signs here for the election. Please don't vote for Higgs and Vickers. Those two parties have been the only two parties that have been in power probably since the 1950s or earlier. And our province is just, it's one of the poorest places in Canada here. No jobs, no money, high taxes, plus we pay 15%, I think it is, on everything that we buy here on top of it. We used to live up that road there. Before I moved away to the Middle East. I haven't been down this road in a long time. A lot of these places along here are pretty old. And while we're going down through Fredericton here, we'll get on to what's called Brunswick Street. And I used to live there when I was a little kid for a summer. When my parents came back from Germany, my dad had to go to the air base and live in the barracks until a house became available. And then I was 10 years old. So that'd be 57 years ago. And we had to stay with my grandfather. What a crusty old bugger he was. I can pretty well say whatever I want about anybody out here, because none of my family watch these videos. I should start talking about them, and then maybe if somebody does discover that I get more people watching my videos. Ooh, look at that. Yes, sirree. I still have a fine eye. Yeah, pretty soon all the ladies will be all dressed up in winter clothes and you won't be able to see their nice summer outfits, we'll say. Anyway, enough of that. So this is called Woodstock Road. And the water from the river can get up close to this high. And it can flood downtown. We'll just stop here. Now, when I was 10 years old, there's a hospital up here. I'll point it out when we get there. There's some nice houses along here, though. Now here's the Dip, or the Diplomat restaurant, and Giselle says it's a little pricey in there, but they have a 24-hour buffet, I believe, and that's the most fanciest hotel we got in the city. And just up here, after the light, this is where the Governor General's residence is, and it's kind of like a museum as well. Of course, you can't see it. If I remember, I'll look at my old photos and I'll show you a picture of what it looks like out front. And because of COVID, the little kiddie pool here, it's all closed down for the summer, for this year anyway. Now, I'm going to figure out how this works. We don't have many traffic circles in town. Here's one of them. Piece of cake. And now, we should be on Brunswick Street, I believe. But it's kind of neat going through here. Yeah, this is where my, on the corner here, there this yellow house here. That's where I stay, 224 Brunswick Street. Back there where that fancy apartment building is, that's used to be an old building in there that looked like this one gray house on the right, and that used to be a Chinese grocery store. This is the downtown mall on the left here. It's called King's Place. And it's kind of neat how they named the streets. There's Queen Street, King Street, all named after different political, like kings and queens and Albert, something to do with all the British heraldry. And there's an old cemetery here off onto the right, which is constantly, vandals are pushing over gravestones. Brand new glass building on the left. I don't even know what that is yet. And we don't really have any high rises here. I think I got to get in this lane. Not sure. Figure it out here. And we got to go quite a ways yet. The city market is just up here to the right, where that one lone person is walking way down there. I think everybody's going back to school in another week or so too. Big church. Yeah, the market's just in here where that car, all those cars are parked. Of course, it's only opened up on a Saturday, and it's a parking lot the rest of the week. Now this is some really grand old houses down here. Very expensive. And this is the old railway bridge, which is a walking bridge across the river nowadays. This will flood in the spring. Alright, here we are. Yeah, the water comes right up onto the road here. Almost every year. I like to bring our dogs down here to walk, but I'm not sure how that would work out. We don't want to get ourselves into a bunch of friggin' around. Some unruly dogs. Because neither of them, I mean, they're good with dogs and stuff like that, but when they pull, they're pretty powerful. They can pull you right off your feet. Better slow down here. Now the University of New Brunswick is just up here as well, where those trees are straight ahead. They got a big campus up there. And we're heading down towards Lincoln. And if we keep going this way, we'll go to the Fredericton Airport, which is a municipal airport. It's not an international one. And this is that other bridge you can cross over. This is Princess Margaret Bridge. Fredericton is very loyal to the Queen and the British way of life, I guess. Still Canadians, but this here, I believe, is a mosque. Not sure. I think it was a church and then they bought it for a mosque. Now I don't know, but here's an Irving gas station, and this family is quite wealthy. They have oil and gas, pulp and paper, they make boxes, they're one of the largest French fry makers in the world, Cavendish Farms. They got lots. Ooh, I think this might be my road here. It is. Good thing I didn't miss it. Now I just got to go up here a little ways and we're almost at the next location. I used to work at the New Brunswick warehouse here for all the liquor. Oh, cannabis NB as well. Imagine that. Marijuana is legal here. I'm not sure what the deal is on all of it, but here we are, this road. It's a good thing I looked it up. Now we're looking for a place on the right, number 69, which isn't too far up here, I suspect. 59, 69. I should have backed in, but yes, sir, look at that. Okay, won't be too long. Oh, that's not that. That's there. We'll figure out what's going on with this thing when I come back. Okay, part 3, here we go again. Met a nice young fellow there, trying to encourage him to come out to get the burdocks off over the hill. Okay, so let's go to the next place. Maybe we'll go this way. Okay. Oh, 50, better slow down already. Yes, I've got a broken lawnmower, and I'm sad. What do we got here? Liberty Utilities. Never heard of them before. Here's a steel mill on the left. Don't think I've ever been in there. Oh, Saigon Grocery. I've been in there. Not a place I don't want to go. Now, on the left there, or where is it? On the right here, Maple Leaf Homes. This is where the guy that owns that big fancy property up by my mother and father-in-law's there. He owns this factory here, and he makes mobile homes like trailer park stuff. And we're going to try to get up on the highway here. Just up here. Oh, good. I got a good idea. I can go to Home Depot this way. And we're going to cross over the highway called the Vanier, which has something to do with Vanier used to be I think the Governor General of Canada at one point in time. But we're going to go straight. Get all frigged up here. Keep it safe. Maybe someday I'll take you to St. John. Okay. Oh, this is going to work out real good. Go the speed limit here. I don't want to go too fast. It's the way down to the co-op. co-op grocery where you buy a membership, and it's kind of like a Costco thing. On my list, I gotta get pepperoni now. This thing doesn't work as this camera like it's supposed to. It's supposed to come on and start going when you drive. It's not been doing that. And when I shut it off, it just kind of goes numb. So I have to pull the battery out to get it to start up again. Kubota, this is where I'd like to have a tractor. Ooh, that skid steer looks nice. I need a tractor someday. And apparently, if the tractor is 40 horsepower, you don't have to pay tax for it. That's a nice looking one there too. $40 would be just ideal, and I could run a decent sized bush hog. I could get a grapple for it, and the grapple I would like to use for picking trees up, and I would like to get one of these winches, Wallenstein winches, that hooks onto the PTO on the back of the tractor so that I could pull logs out. And we go left, and I'll be right at Home Depot. Perfect. And what can I have for lunch? Won't have lunch until I knock a few things off the list. I'd rather enjoy my lunch on the way home. Okay, here we go. Not often I get to go first. And here we go. So this year, we're looking at extending the dryer vent up so that it's not so low to the ground. We got to get it up in the air because it fills in with snow back there really bad. I used to work at one of these buildings up front here. It was called Smart Force, and I was one of these IT guys that mentored online courses. It was a pretty demanding job, though. It wasn't this place. It was a little further up. And the problem was that they wanted me to get a new certification, like one every month. So the way I study, I couldn't do it. Like I have to study and do a bazillion questions. And it starts to sink in. It might take me a month or two, and then I have to do another cert, and I didn't want to do that. So I stayed as long as I could, and then they just said, "Oh, sorry, you're not getting your certs. We'll have to let you go." And then that's when I started looking at moving over to the Middle East. That worked out better. It's one of these buildings just up here to the right. Great, don't change. Alright. Okay, so now we'll go up here. There's a Kent, which is also owned by the Irving family, and I'd rather give my money to the Americans than give it to that guy. So let's go right here. And I'll pull you off of here. Put you over here in the sun no matter what. Be right back. Okay, now we're at Sims. Oops. Now let's go. Just about everything done. There is no rock salt. So next, let's go get something to eat and go home. Wonder what's for supper. Okay, we're back at that traffic circle, and we are going to head across the river. Oh, young guy speeding. Bent right. Oh, not the time to play with the camera, Bob. That's pretty good. Okay, this is called the Westmoreland Street Bridge. The other bridge was the Princess Margaret Bridge. If you look at Google Map, you can kind of see where I've been. So now, this is the main part of downtown. There's not much here. City Hall directly ahead. As soon as we get around the corner here, right here, this is the Fredericton City Police. And up at the Walmart, where I was earlier, that was where the RCMP is. So here we go. We're going over the St. John River. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll go this way. Traffic's usually not too bad. I'm hungry and busy. Haven't had much in the way of sugar today. Okay. We'll fix the camera once we get settled down here. I don't remember what you said for supper. So and we'll go home a different way. Come around. We'll go around the long way. And we'll do that so I can show you some more of the countryside here. There we go. So we're going to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I'm going to get a couple of sandwiches to go with the hot water I got in here. It's okay, I'm not a big water drinker as it is. Lots of pop at home. Now just up here to the right is the motorcycle gang, the Bacchus. They're HQ for the city of Fredericton. Alright, let's go do this.
Welcome to KFC Magic order.
Yeah, all I want is a spicy big crunch combo.
Spicy big crunch combo, and would you like to change fries into a potato?
No.
And is it Pepsi to drink?
Yes.
You want a bottle Pepsi just for $1?
No. Just a fountain pop's
Fountain?
good.
No problem. Anything else?
No.
Alright, so please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, managed to get through that all right. Forgot gas. These are good. There's 3 or 4 of those Home Depots here, or the Home Hardware, one across the street, one farther down, and the one we just came out of.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Tamam. Not sure, I think they're Indian or Arab. Should ask. Ketchup?
Ketchup? Give me some ketchup there.
Shukran. Thanks, bud.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. He probably didn't do that, just automatically. He told me you're welcome in Arabic, so these guys gotta be Arab. Okay. Let's go up here. We need the money mark. Just got to get my stuff ready. Put the ketchup on. One. Two. Three. Okay, don't lose that. Okay, we're good to go here. Okay, so we're on the north side of the city. And, oh, better wait. All right, let's go. This is an old part of Fredericton on this side too. They got good fries there. Oh, I jumped in a big freaking truck. So I'm going to turn right up McDonald Avenue here. Hopefully it's not a dead end. School. Isn't that something, eh? Politicians haven't opened up the government since the pandemic. And what do? They're telling everybody to send... Oh, sorry. Send the kids back to school. And this government says, we're going to buy all the kids' computers. Boy, oh boy, I wonder where the hell they find it. Somebody's giving them money. Oh. Okay, I think I'm on the right road now. But this is what it looks like in the north side of Fredericton. Nice little neighborhood. And normally I'm on this road all the time when I'm heading home. There's a drive-in coffee shop up here called Tim Hortons. But I just got a pop. Good, that's done. I have to go this way because the other way the road's under construction. Of course, I can't get through the red light here. It's going to be changed. Okay, let's go. And this road here is the ring road, they call it. It goes around the outside of the neighborhood I was just in. Okay, time to grab the sandwich now. This spicy chicken sandwich is good. Of course, it's going to be all over my shirt. The lettuce falls out. So we're going to go up this way towards Stanley. And be looping back in on a place called Crow Hill. Gotta slow down here. It's great. I already got sauce all over my shirt. There's a school in there, elementary. Here we go. Percy Jones Lumberyard. And we're on the Royal Road, heading west. chicken sandwich, good. See, another deer sign. $3.30. And here, of all things, is the Mexican barber. Alright, we could go left. I'm not sure what the shape that road is in. Gas station. Ooh, not cheap. There, chicken sandwich is gone. Get the rest of it off my face. Clean off my shirt. Alright. And nice pop to drink, cold pop on the way home. So we're on, I'm not sure what the highway number is here, the road number, but we're heading towards Stanley, and we're going to turn at the Hamtown corner, way up here. Another guy with wood delivered here. There's a lot of people in rural New Brunswick here. If you watch as best as you can, I guess, as we're going through, there'll be piles of wood everywhere. And that's how they supplement a lot of their heating here in the wintertime. They burn the wood so that they don't have the electricity running. We pay pretty high rates for electricity in New Brunswick. If I had the money, I would go with solar panels and run all our stuff basically during the day, and at night use the grid just to keep the geothermal running. Now my power bill averages around $250 or less a month for a year, which isn't too bad, and I think we figured it out to be between 5 and 7 years that will pay for the geothermal, which was pretty expensive. And normally if I didn't have that, I'd probably have wood and oil, and when I first bought the place it had oil. So now we got the oil ripped out of there. We went with a thing called geothermal, which is an in-ground heat source that circulates into the house with a pump, and we take the heat out of the ground, and we have a compressor that will increase the temperature of the heat. So it's fairly efficient, so we're saving quite a bit of money. Now if I have a $35,000 to $50,000, somewhere in that neighborhood, I could put enough geothermal or enough solar panels in, and we do have a good chance to use it quite efficiently. And I could I could make my power bill next to nothing, but I don't like paying the power bill here. Crux. I'm going the speed limit. That guy's in a hurry. Here's a logging truck up here on the right. They like to sneak past our place in the dark. There's quite a few people that have horses, but most of the farms are gone now. We have a new kind of people starting up. They're homesteading. A lot of young people see the value of growing their own. So there's some nice pines there, eh? What do we got going on here? I hope they're not spraying that poison. And if you go that road, it takes you out to Hurlett's Settlement, and that's a dead-end road, I believe. Kind of like a subdivision out in the middle of nowhere. So pretty soon there'll be a tower off in the distance, and that's where I got to turn. There's the tower there. I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not. I think this is going to be a lengthy video. There's a shortcut over to get to another road that turns into a gravel or dirt, more dirt than gravel, and you can end up going up to the Miramichi that way. Now, this farmer's field here off to the right is the very first time I ever seen a wild turkey. Must have been a dozen of them walking across the field. I wasn't sure what it was at first. And they're slowly going all over the province. And I think that's, you could probably say that's because the climate, global warming or whatever, is slowly but surely warming it up here, because we've got lots of bugs that we normally didn't have, and there's some kind of bug that's going through eating trees. So we're going to turn here towards Bert's Corner. There it is. Look at that. How dicky-doo. And this is a typical New Brunswick road here. It's not a main road, so it's got a lot of broken pavement, a lot of patches, and I'm pretty sure that the camera's going to want to fall out of that. Oh, it's still blinking. I'll just set the cruise control and we'll go slow. All trees. And on the right, they've logged that. Hard to say where a lot of these trees end up. You'd like to think that they all go into furniture or building homes, but I think most of it, a lot of it ends up in firewood. Oh, that's too wobbly. Hang on. I'll fix you up. There, oh, that's not going to work either. No, that's not going to work either, but that's what we're doing today. So it's not a bad day. My watch, I gotta go and pick it up in a week. Now it's $11. And you see that up ahead, that's what they call Crow Hill. This is the parish of Burt. But Crow Hill is up here where the steeple is. There's a church up there. Oh, somebody building something in there. Somebody on a dirt bike, I would think. Yeah. And then the road's going to get good pretty soon. And then we'll be turning off towards the house. Oh, this guy's got himself something. Oh, they dropped the strap. So this here is the church. I don't think anybody goes here, to tell you the truth, anymore. A lot of churches have closed down. So up here on the left, you'll see some shiny buildings coming on here. Those are some more of those chicken barns. There must be an awful lot. People must eat an awful lot of eggs. Okay, so off in the far distance is where we went earlier. And you'll see once we get around the corner here. We almost, well, we were looking at this place up here. There's a place here up on the left. And we were thinking about buying that, but they wanted too much money. Just up here on the left, the next road. That'd be right here. And you have to go in pretty near a mile, and when the snow comes, it would be hell to get out of there. So here we are. I'm not sure what they call this. Is Burton, I think they call it, the area up here. And let's see. Figure out how high up we are here. We've already come down a fair ways. We're 588 feet. Power lines. And this is where I seen the turkeys a little while back. Mustang. Right here. First time I ever seen turkeys in a tree. That kind of caught me off guard. So there's a water way far ahead there. That's the St. John River. That's the Macnaquac Dam where we went over. I don't know how well you can see that off in the distance. Quite a ways away from here. And there's where all these vehicles are parked. There's these things all over the New Brunswick. Get your car fixed. There's another one just up here too. Down in there somewhere. So the Doran Ridge is off onto the right. And we'll be heading home here right quick. It's been a long day. Don't mind me, I'm just looking around. A couple of log type homes. Oh, across the road there with your little doggies. Yes, country girls. So here's the Dorn Ridge Road. Right here. We'll be turning right. And we'll go up and see what they've got done here today. What an odd name. Dorn. There, look, the ditch looks pretty smart. That's where our mail lady comes from, or lives. There we go. Right here, we're at 134 feet. And Fredericton downtown is around 50, 60 feet above sea level. In case you was wondering. And I like maps. No matter where I'm at. Before I moved to the Middle East, I studied a map like crazy, just so that you get an idea which way to go if something went wrong. If you had to, you could walk out. Oh, dead skunk. Oh, they cleaned that up. Ooh, it stinks in here. Ugh. Every time I look at this place, it looks worse. Broken windows, siding's falling off. Terrible. Sometimes the pigs on the road. There's been a cow on the road. Sad. Another pile of wood. Somebody abandoned that truck. But boy, our road's starting to look pretty smart. A lot of the dirt that they dig out of the ditches, this fella here on the right, he gets them to dump it there so he can increase the level on his driveway. Not a bad idea. But the two places on the left here we just went by, they're kind of abandoned now. What are these guys doing now? Oh, fixing the road. And this house here on the left here, it was abandoned for a long time too. Somebody came and fixed her all up. Oh, so now we're up to 330 feet. Boy, they sure didn't want to waste too much in the way of that pavement. A lot of times they'll ask to park their like this big heavy equipment here, so that vandals don't make a big mess out of it. So where's the rest of these guys? Oh. They must have just did this on the... I have to check the footage. I think they were digging this up on the way when I left this morning. I mean, the vehicles get quite a bit of damage when they hit these raised chunks of the road over top of the here, anyway, over top of the culverts. I'm truly hoping they'll put this kind of surface all the way out to our house, which will make our vehicles it'll look after them a lot better. I've got 4 bent rims on my my Jeep, so we got to get that fixed. We got to buy new ones actually. Can't fix them. And they're around $300-400 each. So I'm in no rush. So now we're off the chip seal and onto the gravel. Construction ends. Doesn't end actually. Never ends here. Just up here, sign that nobody sees, it's a crime watch sign that Ted from the signpost put up for us. And he made me a sign for my driveway. Of which somebody stole. They pulled it down and then they took off with it. So there's crime in these hills, but we watch these roads pretty close. Somebody come down here and they were stealing mail. Somebody stole the wiring out of a house. Mind you, the house was abandoned, as I understand it. And then we got people coming out here dropping off cats and dogs and letting them loose. Idiots. So this here right here is called Oscar's Hill. And the road to the right is where Irving's supposed to be driving all his big trucks. He's supposed to stay out of here. But I caught two the other night sneaking by. Now this house here, nobody's living here either. But they've got laundry out, they got put a Christmas tree up, and that just try to keep people from breaking in. This house on the right here, that was abandoned for years. And the guy that lives across the road from me, his brothers moved in there now. I wonder if this guy's home today. Doesn't look like it. It's his birthday and he's not home because his car's gone. Yes, sir. This place on the right here, I was hoping my son would buy it, but he didn't do it. It was 125 acres. The church is abandoned. Nobody uses it. Oh well. Gotta investigate up here. There's some gravel that somebody made a big mess just up here. Yeah, this used to be pretty bad road until my wife got on their case. Right here. I wonder what that's all about. Sure do we want to run into that. This is pretty steep. The previous owner got stuck here, and this was on New Year's Eve. He walked from here up the hill, sat down on the front step, and died. The next day, the neighbor across the road come by to see wish him a Happy New Year, and he was underneath the snow on the driveway, or on the front step. And we bought the place in August, and there was already some damage to the house from then. But we've pretty well got everything else fixed up right now. So we're doing pretty good. And we're almost home. And here we are. Oh, more mail. What the hell here? I just picked up the mail this morning. Flyers from the people down the road. Okay. And we're doing good. We're home. And so far it doesn't look like the grass is going back. And of course, I forgot to put the freaking propane bottle in here. So the next time I go to the city, I gotta get propane. Mower doesn't go, so I don't, might as well back up. There we go. So thanks very much for coming along on this long trip with me. I'm glad to be home. Let's see what happens when I just unplug it now.